Hi class, it's Mr. Douglas here. Going to give you a quick summary of what we need to be doing today in class. We're going to just do a couple things right at the start of class here to make sure that we're all set as far as our science thinkers go. And then we're going to start about what we're going to call some Enlightenment thinkers. And these are people who were just as revolutionary as our science thinkers, but they were thinking more about government and not so much about politics. So if you haven't yet done so, please open your Science Thinkers chart from last class. For some of you, that's a digital file. For some of you, that's a piece of paper. Either way, we want you to try to work the word skepticism into the equation here. And are you a skeptic? And more importantly, why would we call people like Bacon and Descartes skeptics? Is this a fair thing to say about them? Is it not a fair thing to say about them? We want to make sure that you really understand the word skepticism. After you do that, you're going to open up our Enlightenment Thinkers comparison chart, and we're going to use the textbook to really figure these people out. Please do not try to use a Google search. There's way too much information out there. You're going to get documents that are 50 or 100 pages long. The textbook does a great job of summing up these people. As you go into that, you're going to notice you're going to have their names here, and you can find them all with the index of your textbook. The first question that they ask is, what is the nature of people? And when we think about the nature of people, what we're trying to get at is, are people basically good or are they basically bad? And a good way to think about this is, as you think about each of these thinkers, each of these writers, if you left people alone and nobody was watching them and nobody was checking on them, would they still do the right thing? And any writer in our list here who thinks that would say, oh, that person is good, right? They will follow the rules, they'll do the right thing even if nobody's watching. If you or one of your writers seems to suggest that people are bad, what they mean is if we left them alone and nobody was watching them to make sure they followed the rules, then they will probably start doing bad things really quickly. You may be actually thinking about your book Lord of the Flies, which is actually a great book, and it's actually about this exact question. Are people good or are people bad? If you put people in a situation where there are no rules, will they continue to do good things or will they turn into bad people? Back to our study guide, how they answer the question, what is the nature of people, will then inform their response to what is the best sort of government. So each of these people had an opinion about what the best sort of government is. And then finally, we actually see all of these people with ideas in the world today. We actually see Thomas Hobbes and John Locke and Montesquieu and Voltaire and Rousseau and Beccaria and Wollstonecraft. All of their ideas are with us very much in the world today. And you'll also see them. And that's the main task that you need to be working on today. And again, this is a study aid that will be very useful to you when you're taking your test. Once you're all done, hopefully you'll start getting to these. What are the patterns of these Enlightenment thinkers? Do we see any trends? Do we see any things that are sort of similar between them? And finally, you will probably see lots and lots of examples of how they have very much influenced our government in these United States today. Thank you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Monday.